There are some people that in their family there are deities, ancestral altars that have been desecrated in the past. Now, this new generation in the family, they may not be the one or the people that desecrated those deities, or they may be involved in one way or the other. Now, suddenly, someone from this family begin to experience stagnation, blockages, and attacks from these deities, from these desecrated altars. Normally, any deity whose altar is desecrated or that is abandoned, they launch attack on the members of the family. Because being that these deities are no longer being fed with energy, they now go hunting for energies themselves. It's just like a dog you have in your home. You have been feeding it and all of a sudden you stop feeding it. And then the dog now goes into hunting for its own food. That is what these deities are like. A time will come when they will now go hunting for their own food by themselves. And they are going to be hunting for those food on the energies of the members of that family. They will begin to feed on the energy of the members of that family. The energies that sustain their wealth, their progress, their prosperity, their health, their peace. Because these are energies. There are energies that sustain all these things in one's life, in the family. These angry deities now go after people, feeding on these energies. And because of that, they begin to experience stagnancy. They begin to experience setback and backwardness. Now, you are a member of such family. You have been suffering. Nothing you put hand on prospers. You are under serious attack. Sometimes you go to Alpha. Alpha will be telling you that you have to do Obonuke, you have to do Amosu work, you have to do this and that. After doing all those work, nothing still works. Someone was telling me that he is tired of doing Amosu work because every time he does Amosu work, the Amosu within the village will go and destroy the Amosu work he did, and the Amosu attack will renew. Now, let me tell you, the Amosu you are suffering from is not from human beings. It is actually from those deities, those unattended deities. What those deities need is attention. They need to be attended to. There are two options that you may choose that I'm recommending. There may be other options based on people's opinion and other, but from my own perspective, I've come to understand, and these options are the options that I have also applied in my own case, because we are all coming from the Christian family, from the Christian background. I also come from a family where everything was destroyed. I came and I started from the scratch. Now, the first option, there is option for appeasement, continuous appeasement. There is option for separation. Now, but in the first option of continuous appeasement, you may not really know how many deities are in such family that need attention. You may not know. You may be thinking that it's Ogugu, Udo, Ngwu. You may not know that there are other deities as well. The truth is that our ancestors that laid the foundation of our various Obu and the kindred, they did so, they laid those foundations with deities, both for protection, for wealth, for fertility, for a lot of things. You may not know everything, all the deities, you may not know. And the one thing is that if you attend to one specifically without attending to the other you neglected will stir up battle against you. And so it will appear as if you have not done anything. So there is a pattern I used during my own days, my earlier days as an ordinary person. Now that pattern, I learned it from someone. The pattern was, I came back, I was in Lagos then, I came back home, I got nzu, I went to the market, I got 4 nzu woke and 4 nzu wine from the market, the way they mold it, nzu woke and nzu wine, because I don't know all the deities in my father's family that demand my attention. So what I did then was, I went to the market, I bought those nzu, 4 female, 4 male, making it 8, completeness. Now, I got orji, kola nut, 4 pieces of kola nut, a bottle of dried gin. I got this, and then a male cock, a male chicken and a female chicken. That is a cock and a hen. Now, and an egg. I came back to my father's land, my father's but luckily for me, my father I already have an obi as at then. That's my own ancestral inherited land. So I did it on my own land. But you can do this in that your father's compound. You can do it on that compound. So what I did that when I came back, I assembled those nzu on the ground. I collected ogris leaf. I kept it on the ground. I kept those nzu on the ogris leaf. And then I started calling on my ancestors, my Ishi, my ancestral land, and being that I didn't know all the spirit forces there is to be appeased, I use that collective, what do I call it? I use the collective term, mmụọ niile nọ na be nna m a, ma ndị mma ma ndị nna amahọ, bụ ndị na-ana oke n'aka m, ndị na-agba m ụgwọ. Because those traumas that they cause you, those battles that they wage against you, okay, ka ha na-ana gị. You got to go. And they are launching attack on you. So mmụọ niile nọ na be nna m a na-ana m oke. I am here to appease you all. Nekwanụ nzu, ndị nwoke, nzu nwanyị, nzu nwoke na nzu nwanyị, ozuzu ahịa na-anọ, ụbọ na-anọ, 4-4. I kept the nzu. And then I used the egg to call on all of them. Because no ba akwa ka eji eze mmụọ iwe. Nwe wo dị akwa wee kpọọ ha niile. Nsịfa mmụọ niile ọ na be nna m na oke n'aka m, mgbe ndị mma na ndị nna amahọ. I am here to appease you. I am here to ease your anger with this egg. Akwa ka eji eze mmụọ iwe. Na mụnwa bụ onye dị otu a, your name. I am here to ease your anger. I am here to make peace with you. We are not fighting. I am not your enemy. I am only a child. After saying all that, I used the egg to cleanse myself, circle around my head 4 times, and I broke it on those nzu. And then I used them. I also put edo there. 1 edo. I sprinkle edo on the nzu, on the whole ogris and the egg. And then I used the orji, the 4 pieces of orji inside the plate. I carried it on my hand. I used it to commune with them. I used it to plead with them. I used it to offer appeasement to them. Now after that, I took 1 out of the 4 orji. I broke it. I broke it and I offered all to them. The first one I broke. However, when a child fair on that oglis, and then I took a second one, I broke it. I also took 1 piece and added to them. This is just how my mind led me to do it. You understand? Because I'm a kind of person that when I learn from people, I allow my inner spirit to guide me on how to do it on my own personal self. How I did it was not exactly how I learned it from someone else. You understand? So I broke the second orgy. I took one piece and kept for them there. And then I ate from that orgy. So we commune. I ate with them. I offered them drink. A shot, and I also drank. Communion. And then I took the female, the hen. I took it. I told them, those ndị na-eri na nne, maka ndị na-eri na nne, those ndị na-eri nke nwanyị, I am offering you this. In whatever way that you have been scattering things for me, please let all settle. I offered it to them. And then I took the cock. I offered it to ndị na-eri n'oke. You know, I offered it to them. And then another thing I added that I didn't mention is yam. I bought yam, four tubers of yam, but small, because I wasn't that financially buoyant to buy big yams. You know, I did this like 2018. You know, that time that with 200 naira you can buy good size tuber of yam. Those years. So I bought 4 tubers of yam. And then I cut the head and the tail of each of those tubers of yam, and I kept it for them there. And after that, I prepared a meal with the chicken and with the yam. Normally, twice a sitting one. And then when the food was done, I dished out the parts for them. The gizzard, the heart, the liver, you know. I took all those parts that I came and dropped for them there with some pieces of cooked yam. And then I ate from the remaining one, and I gave to people that were with me. You understand? Now, from that 2018, I was doing this like once every year. Once every year, I'll come back home and do it at least once every year. That was how I was doing it until I was now able to. When I did this thing the first time, I was not yet so conversant with ordinary omenala Igbo, because my ordinary journey started in that 2018. I was still a newborn babe to ordinary then. I didn't know much, but I was able to do this. But one interesting thing after I did this the first time was that first time I did it opened a portal for me. It brought calmness and some peace to me. I now discover that most of those deities in my father's land started coming out, started revealing themselves personally to me. That was when I got to know that we have a deity known as Odom in my father's land. I never knew that. Although when I was a child, I used to see something, but I never knew that was the name. But it was after this ritual that that deity started coming out and expressing herself to me. And a lot of other deities and Ndishe as well, they started handing me Oji, Ofo. There was, after I did this ritual, there was a day in my dream, just few days after I did this ritual, I saw my father in my dream. My father took me to somewhere in our compound, and they brought out an ancient a box, ancient box, but made of iron. If you look at the box, it will be obvious to you that these boxes have not been opened for years, for centuries. It have not been opened. So dusty. So my father pulled it out and then opened it. It was like opening a seal. My father opened it and brought out Oji. Oji, you know the iron Oji. So my father brought the Oji out and threw it at me, and I caught it on the air. When I cut it, I took it and dust to see where pota. Mine and like this, dust to do everywhere. And my father also took out offer, an ancient offer. Inside a lot of spiritual artifacts were inside that box. My father started bringing them out one by one and handing over to me. I had this dream in 2018 after I did this ritual I just described now. So this is one way of appeasing those spirits. But you have to be consistent with it at least once every year. You do it until you are now able to understand and start restoring the various altars one after the other. As at then, there was nothing like Okundi Ishia. There was nothing, no deity, no altar, no ancestral altar in the physical, nothing. But after I did this, a lot of things became revealing to me. Now, I told you that there are two options that you can take. I will discuss the second option in the next video after this. Please stay tuned to this channel, to this page, and be part of our every Unko Saraka. Every Unko we do Saraka here, Saraka Ndimili. Be part of it. You can chat me on WhatsApp on 08032477868. My name is Ezinwa Anedo. I come for the total restoration of ordinary nomen and Igbo. Thank you.